Good morning and welcome to another week of reflections. And a happy holiday to all of you watching from the United States. I hope you have a wonderful Labor Day. The weather is beautiful out here in Pennsylvania. I don't know about where you are watching from, but it's a lovely day. I know because of the of social distancing and all the rest of it, we really can't go to the kind of places we ordinarily would want to go. We would have wanted to have our barbecues, our cookouts with lots of friends around, but well, we are disappointed. And I'm going to be talking about disappointment today. Disappointment is part of life. Disappointment is when you had your heart set on something and then it just didn't happen. Or you've had certain expectations and you found out that your expectations were maybe not realistic, maybe not doable. It talks about frustration. So we want to talk about disappointment this week. And like many of us are disappointed that we can't go out and hang out with friends on the holiday like we ordinarily would want to do. So the emotion you are feeling right now is an emotion that we will talk about the rest of the week. Disappointment comes in various forms. It could be as simple as, hey, I want to hang out with my friends today. I can't because of social distancing. It could be as simple as you went to the store, you found that lovely dress, you said, hey, I'm going to use this dress for this particular event. And on the day of the event, maybe you didn't try on the dress before. On the day of the event, you then pulled out the dress, you tried it on, and you found out, it's a little too long, it's a little too short, there's something wrong with it. Or everything was fine with the dress when you bought it, or the suit when you bought it, and you now put it on. It's time for you to step out. Suddenly the zip runs. It just gapes open. It's too late to change what you want to. You didn't make an alternate plan. Or maybe it was your suit. The button just popped out. And you are already running. You are disappointed. What am I going to do? Usually disappointment also goes hand in hand with embarrassment. Usually, not all the time. Sometimes because of that disappointment, you find yourself exposed and embarrassed. Disappointment. It could be as serious as the day of the wedding is here. The bride is waiting, the groom does not show up. The groom is waiting, the bride does not show up. Something as serious as that. It could be something as serious as you've lived with this person 5, 10, 20, 30 years. And then you finally find out that they have another family somewhere. Or they have, they had they're a convict on the run, and they never told you any of these things, and you are disappointed. In fact, it's worse than disappointment. Your life just crashes before you. So we are going to be talking about disappointment, the various levels of disappointment, and how to handle disappointment. Now, the scripture we are going to be using this week is 1 Samuel chapter 13 and chapter 16. 1 Samuel. And it's the story of Saul and Samuel. God had told Samuel to anoint Saul king over Israel. He was the best candidate around. Everything was going good. Everything looked wonderful. He was taller than all the Israelites. He had a kingly carriage. He was handsome. The people rejoiced. They celebrated. They were happy. God had finally given them a king. And then Saul disobeyed God. When Saul disobeyed God, God said, Saul is not the candidate I want. He has failed his test. Sometimes God promotes you and you fail God. Sometimes you get a second chance, sometimes you don't get another chance. Saul did not get another chance. Samuel said to Saul in 1 Samuel 13, verse 14, he said, your kingdom will not endure. You have disobeyed God. The Lord has sought a man after his own heart and appointed him to rule over his people because you have not kept the command of the Lord. It is critical that we keep God's command. No matter how difficult. We'll talk more about why Saul disobeyed God later in the week. That's why you mustn't miss any of the reflections this week. God was disappointed. God was disappointed in Saul. Samuel too was disappointed. 1 Samuel chapter 16 verse 1. 1 Samuel chapter 16 verse 1. The Lord said to Samuel, how long are you going to mourn for Saul? I have rejected him as king. Samuel was so disappointed. He mourned. He grieved. He was heartbroken. He couldn't get over the disappointment. He couldn't. God said, Samuel, you are disappointed. I am disappointed too. He said, but how long are you going to continue to grieve and mourn? How long are you going to stay in that place of disappointment? We need to move on. He said to Samuel, fill your horn. Go and anoint the person I will show you. I have moved on. My dear brothers and sisters, disappointment is real. I've told you, it could be as simple as, okay, today, ordinarily, beautiful weather, we will be out visiting friends, but we are disappointed we can't do that this season. We can't just go about partying and hanging around with all our friends like we usually would because of social distancing, because of health concerns. We have to be very careful. We are disappointed. What a waste of beautiful weather. Simple. It could be as simple as we want to have a cookout, a church cookout. Everything is already done, or you have a cookout in your house. Everything, you already got everything. The what do you call it is set up. What do you call your grill is set out. The chairs are out. And suddenly the heavens darken and rain begins to pour. Everybody is disappointed. Disappointment. Very real. Happens all the time. However, God said to Samuel, Samuel, how long? How long? How long will you grieve? How long will you mourn? I've seen people who lost a loved one and they mourn and they grieve months, years on end. How long? It's painful. It's heartbreaking. How long? You are disappointed. You had plans. This is how we will live the rest of our life. Now, something happened. All those plans scattered. Maybe it's death, maybe it's separation, maybe it's divorce. How long? How long? Move on. Move on. God said, Samuel, how long are you going to grieve? How long are you going to mourn? He said in Psalm 89 verse 20, I have found David my servant. With my holy oil I have anointed him. God moved on. Will you please move on? Please, move on. We'll talk more about disappointment the rest of the week. There's nothing you can do about disappointments. They will come. But when they come, after that time of sorrow, of pain, of grief, of mourning, move on. Good day, everyone. Have a wonderful Labor Day. Put your grill out and grill and eat all by yourself and with the people in your house, if there are people there, and if not, just feel happy. How long will you mourn that you can't go out? Have a wonderful day. It's Fumi Obilano. Reflections.